Remember the song, It's a Small World After All from Disney? Remember that? And the fact is, a lot of countries don't like each other no matter where in the world you go. India doesn't like Pakistan and vice versa. North Korea hates South Korea, and I can go on and on. Think about all the wars and conflicts on the globe, even as we speak. No one has a monopoly on hate, but you can almost find it anywhere. You know, the UN General Assembly is meeting just a few blocks away in New York. And I thought, although I have some issues with those clowns on the East River, it's kind of comforting a little bit in some way that some folks make an effort to bring us all together while others attempt to drive us apart.
To my left is the Haynes.
Why are you stoking racism where it doesn't exist?
We don't want your racism in Texas. Get out of here. Nobody wants to hear your racist nonsense in Del Rio. You're a racist.
Gotta love that. Al Sharpton is a known race baiter, constantly injecting himself into heated situations to get publicity and stir the pot. And for the first time ever, I think, that I've ever seen at least, he was called out as a racist. They chanted, "Get out. Don't bring your racism here, Al." He was trying to exploit those poor Haitians at the border to raise his own profile. Well, I guess it was kind of interesting to see. He was getting yelled at, but it kind of heartened me that he was finally called out for being what I believe he really is. And he's not the only one. There's a certain group of race brokers, race traffickers, and race merchants as well. These are people who use race to get what they want. Now, let me give you an example of each. I define a race broker as someone who pulls the race card when they see an opportunity to insert themselves into the story. Maxine Waters is a great example of a race broker. She's not one to use race all the time, just when she thinks she can make herself relevant using the race card. Now watch Representative Waters somehow inject herself into the Haitian migrant story on board her own race card.
I'm pissed. I'm unhappy, and I'm not just unhappy with the cowboys who were running down Haitians and using their reins to whip them. I'm happy with the administration. What we witnessed takes us back hundreds of years. What we witnessed was worse than what we witnessed in slavery.
Okay, whatever you say, Maxine, turns out the cowboys weren't whipping the Haitians, and worse than slavery. Are you kidding me? Surely you're joking. All right, next up, the race trafficker. This is someone who deals in race 24/7. Everything has a race angle to it. Even when there's no racial problem, they'll find one or fabricate one. Joy Reid is a race trafficker. Joy will rig up a racial problem with everything she sees and touches. Watch here how Joy can't even let America mourn a poor little Gabby Petito before Joy Reid finds some racial outrage to apply to it.
But the way this story has captivated the nation has many wondering, why not the same media attention when people of color go missing? Well, the answer actually has a name: missing white woman syndrome, the term coined by the late and great Gwen Ifill to describe the media and public fascination with missing white women like Lacey Peterson or Natalie Holloway, while ignoring cases involving missing people of color.
Everything's race. Missing white girl syndrome, really, Joy? Give America a break. This is a grieving nation, grieving the loss of a beautiful young girl. Zero to do with the color of her skin. And stop it already. You're causing more racial tension in America than anyone walking on earth. The third category is the race merchant. Race merchants uses race to make money. Lots and lots of money. Al Sharpton is the world's biggest race merchant. Al Sharpton is the Walmart of race merchants. Sharpton will do anything, go anywhere if he can make a buck off of it by showing up. No better example of this than this past Thursday with the appearance at the border. With the border in chaos, what the heck is Sharpton doing dropping in? For the money, of course, and of course at times this obsession of race veers into madness. Take a look at this video of two white college students just hanging out in a multicultural lounge trying to do schoolwork on a campus when they're confronted by two black female students.
We've got a Police Lives Matter sticker and we're getting kicked out. Can't do school. You just said we have to leave.
No, I said
you're making the
You
space
said it makes me feel
uncomfortable.
uncomfortable.
But you're white. Do you understand what a multicultural space? It means you're not being centered.
White's not a culture?
no.
No, it's not a culture. It's white is not a culture. Say it again to the camera.
White's not a culture. What? You see what I mean? And by the way, this week, Black Lives Matter leaders claim that vaccine mandates are racist, as so many blacks have not gotten the vaccine. So while on one side there are racists, and on the other side there are race brokers, traffickers, and race merchants, sure, there's racism in America. White people are racist too. I get it, there is, but it's not everywhere. It's not systemic. It's not everybody. It's a fine fraction of actual people, but it is destructive nonetheless, all of it. Meanwhile, today's the 6-month anniversary of the day Kamala Harris was promoted to border czar, and she was scheduled to finally go to the border. Scratch that. She had an appearance on the liberal Yap Fest, The View. But hold on, 2 of the gals tested positive for COVID and were yanked off the set.
Well, first of all, I've been very clear about the images that you and I both saw of those law enforcement officials on horses. I was outraged by it. It was horrible and deeply troubling. There's been now an investigation that is being conducted, which I fully support, and there needs to be consequence and accountability. Human beings should not be treated that way, and as we all know, it also evoked images of some of the worst moments of our history.
Well, what's that all about? Kamala's live appearance was scratched. She appeared later from a different location, as you see. So, Cammie, now that you have the rest of the day to kill, maybe you can hit the border.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.